Hello everyone, welcome to the fourth video of the interpretation of the statutes. Now, before we get started with the rules of the interpretations, let's revise the last three videos. So friends, in the last three videos, we discussed about the meaning of the interpretation, the meaning of the construction, along with the different procedures of the interpretations, that is commencement, operations and the repeal, different kinds and effect of these procedures so far. So friends, when we are talking about the statutory interpretation, we must know that it is the process of interpreting and applying the legislation to decide the cases. Now, the reason for interpretation is to avoid the vagueness if there are any in the statute. Generally, the statutes have clear and classified meaning, a straightforward meaning, but sometimes ambiguity and vagueness occurs because of the words that has been used in the statute. So, to avoid those ambiguity, the legislation intention becomes very important to understand and the interpretation process takes place. Now, to find out the meaning of the statutes, the judges use various tools and the methods of the statutory interpretations, including the traditional canons of the statutory interpretations, that is legislative history or rather the purpose or the common law that has been made applicable, etc. Now, the judiciary may also apply certain rules which are there for the interpretation of the statutes. Now, friends, when we are talking about the rules of the interpretations, we must never forget that there are two kinds of the rules. So, the first kind is the primary rules and the second is the secondary rules. So, friends, let's get started with the understanding of the rules of the interpretation. So friends, the rules of the interpretation, as I stated earlier, has two basic kinds. The first is the primary rules and the second is the secondary rules. Now, literal rule, golden rule, mischief rule and harmonious construction rules. These are the four rules which falls under the primary rules. The secondary rules includes nociter a sauces, ejusdem generis and redendo singula singulis. So friends, let's get started with the understanding of each of these rule and its applicability along with the advantages and disadvantages. So friends, the first rule that we are going to talk about is the literal rule. Now, this is the first rule of the interpretations. According to this rule, as you can see on the screen, the words used in this text are to be given or interpreted in their natural or ordinary meaning. After the interpretations, if the meaning is completely clear and unambiguous, that is, there is no ambiguity in interpretation, understanding and also applicability of the law, then the effect must be given to a provision of that statute regardless of their consequences. That means, my friend, that this rule will be helpful only when the interpretation can be done without vagueness and the use of the words which has been there in the statute gives a very natural and ordinary meaning to the statute and no complications or no ambiguity lies when we are talking about the statute's language. Now friends, we all are aware about the statute's structure. All the statutes contains the definition section along in the statutes included in it. Now, if the definitions which has been provided in the statute gives a very clear meaning, then there is no chance of ambiguity to be arised. But when there is no such section or rather there is no clarification on certain terms which has been used in the statute, then there are chances, rather there are high level of chances of creation of the ambiguity. So in that way, in such cases, this rule, the literal rule, helps us to interpret those kind of terms which are been used in the statute and the definition of those terms has not been provided in the statutes. Plain rule or literal rule or any such name which has been provided or natural interpretation rule, everything would mean the same. The judiciary in many cases also has tried to adopt this literal rule to interpret certain sections or rather certain terms in the cases whenever it arises. For an example, as you can see on the screen, the Maqbul Hussain versus State of Bombay. In this case, the appellant, a citizen of India, after arriving at the airport, did not declare that he was carrying gold with him. Now, during his search, he was carrying on, like the gold was found in his possession as it was against the notification of the government, and he was confiscated under the Customs Act. Now later on he was also charged under section 8 of the Foreign Exchange Regulation Act. Now the appellant challenged the trial to be violative under the article 20 subclause 2 or of the constitution, and according to this article no person shall be punished or prosecuted more than once for the same offence. Now this is considered as a double jeopardy because he was carrying the gold and he was already confiscated and he was already charged under the Customs Act. Now for the same act, if he is again charged under the Foreign Exchange Regulation Act, then that would be considered as a double jeopardy. It was held by the court in this case that the Seas Act neither a court nor any judicial tribunal. Thus, according to that, he was not prosecuted earlier. Hence, his trial was held to be valid. Why? Because the rules and the regulations that was made applicable did not create any confusion in its application. Friends, when we are talking about this rule, the intention of the legislature which we are interpreting, to understand that intention, it becomes very important. Rather, the whole attention should be, or rather it must be paid to the intentions of the legislations only. And this was one of the opinions which was given under the J.P. Bansal versus State of Rajasthan in 2003. Thus, it can be stated that when the language of the provision is plain and clear in its own terms, the court does not have the authority to enlarge the scope of the provisions of that applicability by interpretations or rather by applying any rules of the interpretations. So friends, while application of these rules, it would definitely give us certain advantages along with the disadvantages of this rules application. So let's have a look at the disadvantages of the literal rule. Now, there can be a disagreement as to what amounts to the ordinary or natural meaning. That means when the interpretation is done as per the literal rule, loopholes creations chances are increased. Why? Because you are just taking the literal and the plain meaning of that rule. You are not trying to understand any other aspect. That is one of the disadvantages of the literal rule. Now, it leads to injustice. Why? Because when we are not looking into the other aspect, we are not looking into the other opportunities or other possibilities of application of that particular statutes. So that may lead to, there is a chance of injustice creation in such application of the rule. Now it also creates an awkward precedence now which requires the parliament to timely correct it along with the changes in the society. It undermines the public confidence in the law. That means when this application is taking place and when the injustice is taking place, when the court is not looking into another aspect of the interpretation, it definitely will give a doubt in the mind of the public for the confidence in the law. But it is not so that there are only disadvantages of the literal rule, friends. There are also advantages of the literal rule along with that. What are these advantages? Now, there is one very important advantage of this rule application is that it encourages the precision in the writing. It does not leave any scope behind for the drafters of the statutes to put any terms undefined or rather to give any loopholes in the statutes. Another advantage is that it upholds the separation of the powers. That means when the judiciary is interpreting any terms or any statutes, it is trying to redraft the whole statute. That will be like hampering into the lawmakers working. So that will not be the separation of the power. But when the plain meaning rule is applied, the judiciary is only going to stick to the rules or rather the roles that they are dedicated with. So that would uphold the separation of the power in a way too simpler manner. It also restricts the role of the judges as you stated about the separation of the power. It provides no scope for the judge to use their own opinions or prejudices. That will also help the justice to be delivered in a quiet, better, and fair manner. That would also mean that it will rather restrict the courts to take any political sides or give any of their personal opinion based on any such notification or governmental prejudices. So friends, this was all about the literal rule. In the next slide, we shall be talking about the golden rule, mischief rule, and harmonious construction rule. Till then, do learn, keep learning, and take care.